Hello, hello, hello. Oh, it's happy to be here. So I last week was not feeling good, and that's completely over with now, and I'm so glad because I was so low energy. I've been playing today, as you can see, with my rainbow hair. It's happy to feel good enough to do that again. So, welcome. I'm back too. I've been looking forward to this. I was thinking about you guys and really anxious for this interaction this week. I enjoy it. I like being here with you. So I see that I've got a few of you here already. We're just going to chit chat until the actual time of the hour comes, just to give people a chance to come and join. If someone would please just put a message in the chat, just so I know that you're hearing me, that the chat's working well. I just like to double check. So if someone will just say hi or drop an emoji, that would be helpful for me. I've got a couple of announcements for today, so I'm excited for that. And I'll show you guys something I've been working on just on my own. I'm a major crafter. And if I talk about an idea, I've got like 10 or 20 other ones that I have running around in my head that I haven't started yet. So I tend to overrun myself with that. Oh, thank you, Tyson. Oh, it's great to see you too. Thank you for putting a message in. And what I've been working on lately, crafting, is EFT swag. So I'm going to show it to you guys in just a minute. There's a couple of, well, really one. There's one catchphrase that I've kind of developed in a rapport with my people who come to me for tapping, or just friends and family who, when there's talking about something and then I reference tapping. So, and I'll show you what that is in just a minute. But then also the phrase, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I thought that's such a beautiful phrase, and we have all of these pieces of clothing that have all these positive statements on it. Why not? Why not have EFT clothes that say that too, and it kind of shares a broader message. And yeah, I thought it was worthy of that. So I put it all over some clothes. And I'll go ahead and show you now. What time is it? Oh yeah, we're close enough. I'm gonna go ahead and announce things and show things. So this jean jacket, you can see it's got stamps all over it, or letters all over it. And I had it specially made. You can see, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So that's all over that. And then I put it on this. I'm such a leisure wear person. Was it athleisure wear? That's the phrase for it. As soon as that was invented, I was like, yes, my people. But yeah, so this is the shirt that I made for it, and then I have it on my leggings as well. So okay, and then the phrase that I have used, I apologize if there's a cuss word in it, but when someone is telling me something and they're just, oh, I'm just so overwhelmed, or this or that, and this is my way, and I have a tendency to go, wow, you really need to tap that shit out. And I mean, it's said in like a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. It usually makes the person laugh. It's meant to be funny, but so I have this. I also have like a tank top and leggings that say it too. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you think? If you guys like it, maybe I can talk about it being something, not that I would make because I'm not that good at it, but maybe having it manufactured some way if there's an interest. So it's kind of an off the wall idea, but I'll throw it out there if you guys want it. So the announcement that I have for you today is that the tapping circle that we do here has been discussed in the company. There's been such a positive response to it that, remember when I started it, it was a temporary thing. We were going to do it because everyone was in such strong overwhelm. But we've decided we're just going to make it a permanent thing because it's getting such good reviews. People are really getting a lot out of it. So we want it to be a permanent fixture for everyone. But it is going to move from Wednesdays to Tuesdays because we did have some confusion in this with our other tapping circle when they were on the same day last week. So we will still have the monthly tapping circle on whatever Wednesday that falls on. And that will be the same as that has been, where there's a topic and the person is talking and then just instructing. And then this will become Tapping Tuesdays, where we will continue to have it where you show up, you bring whatever's on your mind, and we all tap together. So you'll likely get an email or a text, whatever way you're signed up, to receive notifications about that. So starting next week, it will be Tuesdays. Okay. So thank you, Diane. Yeah, this is my daughter has colors, they're little wax hair colors that it rinses out, but we have fun. We play with my hair. So I felt bright today. Um, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. So if you've got something that's on your mind that you want to tap on, feel free to go ahead and put it in the chat. Let's take just a moment to center and get present with each other. Okay, so make sure that wherever you are, your body is comfortable. Allow yourself to just really sink in and settle. Well, let's take a breath together. And as you sit and allow yourself to continue to settle and just breathe, bring your awareness in to the room where you are. So being aware of maybe the lighting, the sounds, the smells, but nothing outside of this room. Nothing outside of the room where you are. All of your awareness is present in this space. Let's take another deep breath in. And now draw your awareness in just a little bit tighter and have it be just right around your body. It's not all of your awareness is focused in on maybe how your clothing feels on your body, if your hair is against your face or up in a ponytail, short with lots of colors in it today. How do your legs feel? How do your arms feel? Where is your belly button? How is your neck? Where are your eyebrows? Let's take one more deep breath. Now let's focus inwards. And as we focus inwards, I like to picture it going inwards from my heart. It's going in through your heart space. And let's all go to the same place. Let's meet up just at a beautiful, peaceful area where we can all be connected in through our heart spaces. Feeling each other's energies to whatever degree you're comfortable with. And in this space, let's hold a foundation for each other that whatever's coming up for anyone in this space together today, that they're going to get what they need. That whether they type in what they're in need of, or if it's something that doesn't get exactly addressed the way that they feel it, or the way that you feel it, you still get to receive comfort and peace and inspiration today. Okay, if you've had your eyes closed, go ahead and open your eyes. It's important to have your eyes open when you tap. And let's go ahead and start on the hand and just gently tap here. Now, if this is your first time, welcome. These dots that I have all over my face are guides on where to tap. So you can just follow along with me, but also you can use these guides as a pretty good idea of where you need to tap on your own body. So I'm going to take a look at our chat here. Okay, I see concern about a loved one who's in an emergent situation and restless legs. Oh, okay. So we'll start with a loved one in an emergent situation. Okay. As you focus in on this situation, what word would you use to describe what you're feeling? Do you feel fear? Is it panic? Is it doom? Is it lack of trust? Is it something more positive like a trust or a faith? What is it? What word would you use? And if you don't have a loved one in an emergent situation right now, if you want to think back to a situation that maybe you haven't fully processed that this could help with, what we're going to do will work for a past event as well. So just have whatever event in mind, whether it's present in the past or something that hasn't happened yet that you've been afraid of in the future. Okay, something like an aging parent maybe could be an example. So what is the word? What is the word for you? For me, it's fear, but like a frozen fear. Panic doesn't quite express it because to me, panic is lots of movement, but complete just frozen fear. So I think that's as close as I can get verbally. So that's what I'm going to use. Even though as I focus in on this situation, I feel, and use your word, this frozen fear. I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though as I focus in on my loved one and I can't control what's happening, and that causes me to feel this frozen fear, I still choose right now to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though it's hard for me to see how this is going to help with this situation with my loved one, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. This feeling, this feeling in my body, this feeling about my loved one. My loved one who's in trouble right now. This feeling in my body. And go ahead and say what it is. This frozen fear in my body. Not knowing how this is going to turn out. This frozen fear. I'm not sure how talking about this is going to help when there's nothing that I can do about what's happening. I'm not sure I see how releasing these feelings will make me feel any better because it won't shift the outcome. Feeling helpless. I feel helpless right now. Helpless in this situation. So much love for my loved one. Not sure how it's going to go. I know all of the logical things to say. I know all of the logical messages. There's a time for everyone. Grief touches everyone's life at some point. But I don't care about any of that right now. Right now, my heart is hurting. And I just want what I want. I'm not ready to accept anything else. And you know what? Maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm allowed to feel how I feel. Maybe I'm allowed to have big feelings about something big that's happening. Giving myself permission. I give myself permission to feel. I give myself permission to feel this frozen fear. I give myself permission to be in this space where I am. And I choose to deeply and completely accept myself while I'm here. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. And I can support myself there. And maybe by giving myself permission to feel the way I feel, that can alleviate some of this stress and I can feel better. even though nothing about the situation has changed, allowing myself to feel valid for how I feel, that can still feel better. And with whatever comes next, I can be allowing of that too. And I don't have to think ahead. I can let things come as they do. My loved one, support for my feelings, permission for my feelings, releasing the expectation on myself that I need to be or feel anything different. These feelings in my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and let's breathe that in. My thoughts and love to any of you who are really feeling that impact of that right now. I hope that was helpful. Okay, and next on the list, we have restless legs. So, actual restless leg syndrome is a brain function, right? Or brain mismessage. Uh, but feeling the symptoms of restless leg syndrome can come from different areas. I mean, other than that one particular diagnosis, being restless in bed, I used to have um, sensations down my legs, and it never quite fit what restless leg syndrome was described as. Um, and tapping on different things did help with that. But since the symptoms are symptoms and not the root cause, it is difficult to say how effective EFT will be with it. But it's a great place to start because it's an opening, right? It's a portal. We know that there's something there. So this is a bit experimental, and not having you directly in front of me with immediate feedback. I will do my best, but let's jump into it. So, if you do not have a restless leg issue, consider something else. If you feel absent minded, if you feel easily distracted, if you're forgetful, like, oh, I can never remember, I drive to this place 5 times a week and I still have to use my GPS to get there. Anything like that, any sort of um, function or dysfunction that you feel like gets in the way of your everyday life. So focus on that, on whatever that is. Now, I'm going to say restless leg, just since that's what was suggested, but replace those words with whatever you come up with. So, okay. Even though my body experiences restless leg syndrome, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I have this experience of restless leg syndrome that really gets in my way, I choose right now to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though this issue of restless leg syndrome is really irritating to have in my life, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. All of it, all of it, all of myself. It's all accepted right now. Accepting where I am. Even where I am with restless leg syndrome. Even if I feel emotions about accepting it, I accept those too. Because it's where I am right now. And I'm going to say that's okay. It is okay for me to be where I am right now. Doesn't mean I'll always stay here. Doesn't mean I'm not looking for answers or a solution. I am looking for a solution. I'm not looking for a solution. Go with me on these phrases. I don't really want a solution. Nah, it's just weird to say that. So I tell people I want a solution, but the truth is, I want this. In fact, I want it to get bigger and bigger in my life. In fact, I want it to get so big, I want to be known as the restless leg guy. It is my life goal to become the poster person for restless leg syndrome. It's what's going to make me famous. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my whole entire life. Ugh. Okay, those were silly to say. It's obviously not the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And even though it's in my way and it is annoying, maybe it's not the worst thing either. Even if at times, oh, it really feels like the worst thing. Oh, especially when it's happening. The worst thing in my life when it's happening. I wonder what else is happening when I'm experiencing this. I wonder what else is going on. Is it possible that there's more to this than just restless leg syndrome? So think about when this thing, whatever it is that you're focusing on, when it happens, where are you usually? What are you feeling? What are you thinking about? What's just happened right before it? One of my triggers has been opening email. I look at my email. And it took me a while to figure this out because there's a lot of good things in my email. But there was a period of time in my life where I was going through correspondence through a couple of difficult court cases. And I was always afraid that I was going to open my email and have to deal with something that I really didn't want to that day. And then when those ended, I thought, cool, done with that. But that trigger of that anxiety from just opening my email was still there. And I didn't link it together because I would look at my phone, set it down, and then a minute or two later, just so much anxiety. I would start having a panic attack. It took me a while to figure out that's what it was. So think even just a few minutes ahead of time, even if it's something that seems so simple, something you do all the time. What could it be? This restless leg syndrome. A deeper message. How can I support myself when I'm feeling this? What way can I show up differently that might feel better? Because maybe I'll find a solution for this. And next year, by this time next year, I'll completely forget it was ever a part of my life. Or maybe this is something that I'm going to have to deal with for quite a bit longer. But whether or not this is something that I'm almost done with, something that's hanging on for a while longer, I choose to find a way to support myself in it. Supporting my body. So I'm seeing here in the chat that right before you experience REM sleep and mild nightmares. So maybe tapping away those nightmares. Um, Something that can be really comforting. Because when we have something that's like this, right, a chronic, long term, difficult to figure out, oh man, the emotions layer on, right? That layers on stress, which can exacerbate the issue. So tapping helps peel back those layers of stress. And one really effective way to do that, because Rose, I see that you've put in another thing here, is to personify whatever it is that you're dealing with. Talk to it like it's a hurt animal or a scared younger person. Because when you deal with a young person or an animal, you can't really logic it away. Just like you can't really logic away restless leg syndrome or dry eyes or forgetfulness. Being more logical tends to not really help, but compassion does. So being able to find a way to hold compassion for yourself through that thing can really unhook those layers of stress. We'll go through one more tap sequence of just an example of what that is. Okay. Well, hello, restless leg syndrome. I see that you needed my attention tonight. I'm really tired and having feelings about this, but I'm here for you anyway. So let's see what we can do. I see that from the restless leg, I've got some memories of a nightmare, and that feels kind of gross. The feelings that I feel with feeling the restless leg in my legs is some anxiety, some excess energy. That's okay. It's okay that you're feeling that. It's okay. It's okay. I know you don't like feeling that either. Neither of us want this to be what's happening. I'm here for you. We'll get through this together. We'll figure it out together. Is there something that we could do that's real simple that could help? Like maybe a drink of water, stretch, maybe some massage. What is it? What sounds good to you? What can I give to you that's going to help you relax and go back to sleep? Okay. And let's stop tapping and breathe in. And of course, whatever it is that comes to your mind, follow through on that because it can be a signal from your brain saying, this will feel comforting to me. And actually going and doing that thing, even if you're like, I don't want to get up and eat candy right now. Like that's, I brush my teeth. I'm trying to go to bed. I don't want the energy from the sugar. Try it. If you haven't tried it, there's, even if it's irrational, because we're not dealing in logic and rational thought. Sometimes a really odd stepping stone is needed to get to the ones that make more sense. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. I know that was a little vague for the situation, but there it is. Okay. So I'm looking back in the messages. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in the chat whatever it is that you want to tap on. If you have an idea for something, it doesn't have to be something that's like overtaking your life right now. It can be something that you have a curiosity on tapping with. Let me see something. Oh, okay. So there was an email today about disorganization and from someone who's learned techniques in tapping but didn't know how to apply it to, okay, I'm so disorganized. I don't know how to address that. So let's do that a little bit because I think that's a fairly common experience in life. So, okay. And I see the pop up of, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, DJINN. So we'll hop on that next. Okay. Even though I don't know how to get ahead of this disorganization in my life, I'm going to choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though this disorganization feels impossible to really ever overcome, I'm going to trust that it will do me good to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I'm really irritated by all of this disorganization in my life, I'm going to try choosing to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Disorganization. It's always in my way. Everywhere I look, there it is. And when I see it, I have feelings about it and judgments about it. And maybe some of this disorganization in my life isn't even mine. It's caused by another person or thing. And I really feel like I don't have control over that. No control. Lack of control over disorganization. Oh, I've tried attacking it logically. I've tried different systems. Maybe I've even purchased some. I've bought containers. I've watched HGTV. But it just doesn't seem to stick. So I wonder if it's not tools for organization, what's the real problem? If my disorganization is a symptom, what's underneath it? Underneath being disorganized, looking underneath my disorganization. Now, whatever you feel here can go a lot of different ways. And even tapping on the same thing, a different thought can come up. What came up for me is, well, if everything was organized in my life, then I would focus more on myself. Hmm. Okay. Well, why don't I want to focus on myself? Isn't that supposed to be what everyone's reaching for? Not wanting to focus on myself. I wonder why. Hmm. And your answer may not be logical. It may not make any sense to you, but still go with it. For me, what came up is focusing on myself is sad. Okay. If you feel a feeling about it, that's okay. Feel the feeling, then try to step back into curiosity with it. That's interesting. Why is focusing on myself sad? So this goes back to several things in childhood for me, just where my energy and eagerness was not always positive for me. So then that lets me know, okay, that's something else that I can tap on. And then it starts to get bigger, right? Oh no, how do I start addressing all of this? You don't have to right away. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. I recently did a video on this. It's called The Magic And. Okay, I understand now. I see why I feel this way. And I can go back and tap on that later. I will make a promise to myself. I will go back and listen to those messages that I just realized are there. I wonder, can I work on those issues and start to become organized at the same time? And I feel like, yeah, of course, I can do that. And wherever I am, and progression, and working on these past things that now I'm aware of, or wherever I am and working on my disorganization, I commit to myself that I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, let's breathe that out. Okay. Oh, thank you, DJ. Okay. Thank you for letting me know what I can call you that I am able to pronounce. Okay, so scared to go traveling by yourself. So this is a really common one as well. It has to do mostly with a root of vulnerability, right? Just an uncertainty of your environment. You don't have control or a familiarity with where you're going, who you're going to be around, and that can feel um, like you're putting yourself at risk. And especially depending on anything in your history that might be triggering, that can feel overwhelming real fast. So, um, to make it a more broad category, I want you to keep in your mind that it's about traveling. Okay. Um, if that doesn't apply for the rest of us, think something that you feel vulnerable about. Okay. Something that just feels you go, ooh, that sort of a reaction too. Okay. So I'll give you a second to think about what that could be. Traveling actually works for me too. So and I'm going to speak traveling by myself just because that's what DJ asked for. And whatever you come up with, replace it with what works for you. Even though I feel really scared to travel by myself, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. even though when I think of traveling by myself, I feel really scared. I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though right now traveling by myself feels really scary, I choose firmly to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Traveling alone. Alone in an unfamiliar place. Alone in an unfamiliar place with a lot of strangers. And I'm aware that not everybody's good. And I'm also aware I'm not the strongest, fastest, most skilled, impenetrable fighter, superhero. I'm aware that if someone else targeted me, they could hurt me. Being vulnerable. Being vulnerable without a choice. I don't get to choose who's going to be there. If I'm going to travel, feeling this vulnerability is the outcome. Feeling vulnerable. Feeling vulnerable about my surroundings. I can find evidence in my history of times when I was vulnerable and I got hurt. I have proof that that's happened in my life. But I wonder, do I also have proof of times when I was vulnerable and I was cared for? And when I consider the amount of times that I was vulnerable and hurt versus vulnerable and cared for, had a lot more experiences of being cared for. And I know logically that most people are at least decent people. And even if they're not looking for a chance to be really good all the time, at the very least, they are just paying attention to their own lives. And they're not targeting me. I'm not always a target. I'm not always a target. When I travel, I can feel scared. I could feel safe. Either way, I'm going to travel. The part that I don't have control over is the traveling. But what part do I have control over? I know I have control over my emotions. But maybe I feel like it's foolish of me to focus on feeling safe when maybe I won't be. But what about considering, would it be equally foolish to think of all of these bad thoughts the whole time I'm traveling and just give myself all of that stress and wear myself out when really the whole time I was okay? Foolish or not foolish, I'm more interested in, what do I want? What do I want to choose? If it's my choice, what would I like? Maybe I want kind of a mixture, somewhere on a spectrum. Doesn't have to be one or the other. I don't have to go in fearful for my life or completely blind to any particular dangers that might be there. I can fit somewhere in between. So maybe I can pick a percentage of, and find a percentage that works for you. 70% feeling pretty good, but I'll be safe. 70% confident that the people around me are just average, normal people. Maybe 30% sketchy. 30% bad mood, maybe gonna lash out, maybe emotionally toxic, and very, very small percentage of something more drastic than that. My life is not a movie. Traveling is not what Hollywood makes it to be. Very, very rarely does anything like that actually happen. Yeah, I'll find a percentage that works for me this time, and I'll try it out. And if I need to, I can shift it. Finding a percentage that works for me. And whatever percentage I choose, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay. Breathe that out. Thank you for that, DJ. That one felt really good to me. So I personally really benefited from that. So thank you. We are right at an hour. So I will go ahead and wrap up there. If you didn't hear before, this is going to become a permanent thing rather than the temporary, just getting everybody through this intense overwhelm period of time. But it is going to be moved to Tuesdays. So it'll be Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's going to be called Tapping Tuesdays. So if you are subscribed to email, to a text, you'll hear about it through that. If you're not and you want to be signed up, simply, I don't know what the actual link is to do that, but you can send an email to support@eftuniverse.com and just request to be added, and they'll get you on there. So thank you so much for coming and spending time with me. I love this time together. So I will have you in my mind and in my heart. And I hope to see you next week. Okay. Mwah. Have a good one.